AI art. Pretty neat as a concept generally. I think a lot of really cool math goes into it, a lot of really cool science. There's a lot of cool things we can learn from AI art generators. However, they do fuck over artists, and that's most of what we're going to be going on over the course of this video. So to start with, what the fuck is AI art? Yeah? Well, AI art is art generated by artificial intelligence. The way it does that is you feed a bunch of art into it. You say, hey, all this art is of a given genre, find the similarities, and then the artificial intelligence program takes those similarities and makes more slightly similar art given a prompt. However, you might see a critical point of interference here. The content that's used to feed the AI algorithms is just art from artists that aren't paid for their contribution. So AI art generators are effectively the tech bro way of eliminating an industry, creating a commodity for as cheap as humanly possible, extracting excess value from artists for as cheap as humanly possible, and then fucking them over in the long run because they lose their jobs to free custom art programs. That's why people like Elon Musk are pushing for AI art, of course. If you want proof that artists are not being paid for their work and their work is still being put into the algorithm, right here, a tweet with a screenshot of another tweet. AI image generators are broken right now, actually. There have been people on ArtStation that have rightfully been posting a fuck ton of anti-AI art posts, and that's been fucking up the AI art generators. You can see it in the images down here. You can see that, like, different pieces of red and crosses and anti-AI pieces are being put over everything, which is honestly kind of beautiful and a little artistic in and of itself. But this is just trending tweets. Trending pieces of art. So they're just ripping folks' art from ArtStation without permission in order to create AR art generators and remove the need for the artist. Not great. I think it's also critical for us to understand what's happening here, and it is a fault of the commodity form. A commodity the commodification of something is when you eliminate the community aspect of it. So instead of bread being from the baker, right? Somebody you know, somebody you trust, somebody who you know where the money's going to, you know who created the product and how they did it, and there is a sense of community inherent to that. Once bread is made a commodity, it's just sold as an item. If you read up on Marx, he refers to it as an individual fetish because of the other meaning of fetish, which is like a piece within a ritual. Really interesting stuff. But this is part of the issue inherent to the commodity form, where if art is a commodity, right? Custom art is a commodity, something that you use purely to sell, to commercialize, and it's not about the relationship with the artist as art is supposed to be, I would argue, then you have shit like this happening. Like, these AI art generators are being pumped by the ultra wealthy so that people can not pay for art, so that people can get the custom artwork they need without paying for it. So workers get fucked over, artists get fucked over, purely so the bourgeois can pay less upfront cost for their products. It's an issue with the commodity form. Overall, AI art kind of sucks too. It's not bad. I kind of like looking at some of it, but it's kind of soulless. A lot of it is very soulless, and keep in mind, it's never going to have any protests in it. AI is never going to make art which talks against capitalism or against the way that society is built, which is a critical purpose of art. It's just to fuck over artists, really. It is important to know, though, there's a lot of really interesting stuff we can do with AI art. There's a lot of really interesting things we can learn from artificial intelligence through the art that artificial intelligence creates. For example, Loeb. Nexpo has a really good video on this called The Disturbing Art of AI. If you want to go watch that, it's pretty cool. Where is it? This is the original tweet by Supercomposite. A conceptual cryptid from the AI art universe called Loeb. Essentially using negative prompt weights, this entity, which is, I call it an entity, but it's really just a series of concepts, a brunette middle-aged woman with severe rosacea, typically associated with gore and disturbing imagery, seems to keep propping up and shows up in a lot of crossbred images, or a lot of images that are crossbred between a Loeb image and a non-Loeb image. So she survives really well. I've heard some claims that she might have been, there might be slight amounts of hoax to this, but I think it could potentially be a reflection of something really cool in AI. How are concepts tied together? How do negative prompt weights work compared to positive prompt weights? What could that say about how we as humans think about things, conceptualize things, draw analogy between concepts? There's potentially some cool stuff there. So I think AI art has the potential of telling us a lot. Unfortunately, it's being used mostly to fuck over artists. One last thing, another way that AI is fucking over the proletariat. Do y'all remember how Juggalo makeup used to be able to prevent facial recognition technology from telling the faces of protesters? Yep. Turns out Juggalo makeup blocks facial recognition technology. Pretty old news, right? Insane Clown Posse. The main issue is that it makes it really hard to draw a jawline or see where the eyebrows are, because that's the point of Juggalo makeup. You can see like the AI would draw the jawline up there when this person's jaw is way the fuck bigger. It can confuse facial recognition software that way. And then Facebook released the Juggleizer, an AR filter that applied Juggalo makeup to people's faces. And then suddenly facial recognition technology could perfectly tell how somebody looked underneath Juggalo makeup. Always remember there is a cost associated with whatever a rich company offers you for free. A lot of the time it's data. So with facial recognition software, AR software that uses facial features, it's going to be taking data from how the filter applies to your specific face and comparing it to everything else in order to improve facial recognition software, which isn't always a good thing. Think about how that can be used in Hong Kong or China. If a government has the ability to access facial recognition software and is non-democratic, and is not great for protesters especially, that means those protesters face a far higher risk of being forced into jail for exercising their right to protest. People don't give you things for free, especially not under capitalism. They're always trying to get something from you. And most of the time what they're trying to get from you is data. Because the more data they have, the more control they have over your life effectively. Stay safe.